So as Bev said, my colleague Andrea Leva and I put together a presentation very similar to this one for CLA. We presented on both using Padlet just as a tool in general in libraries, and then as well as creating a resource binder. But the primary way, or the first way we used Padlet, was to organize our literacy tutoring resources. So we're really, really lucky that people like Bev and Allison in the State Library, as well as everybody in the network, is really great at professional development and information sharing, and that we belong to a group that has a ton of resources, right? But it can be kind of overwhelming of how to keep track of all those resources and how to share those resources in any sort of manageable way. And so I had been looking for a way to do it for years. I had sort of hacked Pinterest a little bit, for those of you who use Pinterest, to at least do visual bookmarks so people could see, but it was definitely an imperfect situation. And then sometime during the pandemic, our adult education center shared a Padlet with me that they had started using. I guess our local school district, the Santa Monica Malibu Unified School District, adopted Padlet as one of their resources for teaching during the pandemic for online education. And it turned out to be a great resource for organizing literacy tutoring materials. So I'm going to tour you through our Padlet today, give you a couple tips about putting together your own, and then you guys will actually be able to, if you like it, take a copy of it and use it for yourselves as well. So Padlet is a sort of an easy and a visual way to share any sort of resource or information online. And if you want to ask questions as I go, if you have something urgent, please, feel free to interrupt. I'm kind of looking at the chat, or Allison and Bev can look at the chat. There'll also be a Q&A at the end as well. So just tell you what I'm going to talk about first, so your brain can get ready to process it. I'm going to tell you what Padlet is, what you can store in a Padlet, show you some of the fun features. We're going to tour ours that we have, and then give you a couple tips for creating your own. So what is Padlet? Padlet describes itself as somewhere between a doc and a full-fledged website builder. So basically, it's a way to put information up that people can see on the web. There is a paid version of Padlet, but the standard version of Padlet allows you to create up to, well, they say in their words, according to the Padlet website, you get to create 3 free Padlets. But I created an account to test it out again because I hadn't done that in a while. So I created a new account and they let me create 6 free Padlets on the new account. So I don't know if it was some weird promotion. So your results may vary, but published, you get to create 3 free Padlets. But if you create a Padlet account today, maybe you'll find out you magically have 6. I don't know. It's like a fun game. My favorite part about Padlet is it's easy and intuitive to use. If you can copy and paste a hyperlink, and click and drag and maybe click something to upload it, you can use Padlet. So it is not a techie website at all. It's super low tech from that use from the creator standpoint as well as from the user standpoint. You can host any file type on Padlet. So on the web, you could host movie files, sound files, document files. It doesn't matter if it's a Word document, a PowerPoint, a PDF. You can host all of those on Padlet, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. It can be open up for collaboration, or it can be locked down. So you can make it so everybody could add information, or everybody could just comment on it, or nobody could add information. And you can also make it so just you can see it. You can change it to however much or little you want people to be able to interact with this thing. And it does come with a customized URL feature. So we'll see that in a second. So I'm going to take you on our Padlet tour. If you have multiple screens and want to click around on your own, this is the hyperlink here. Or there's a little QR code reader. It does look good on phones and tablets. So you could do a QR on your phone and look at it on your phone. Really, any device that you could access a website, it looks good on. They've done a good job making it optimized. So this is ours. And oops, let's see if I can get to it real quick. Nope, that's the screen grab. Hang on. Okay. Let's see, was my share just sharing? I'm still on the same screen. Did I do it? You can see our Padlet now? Oh, good. I love it when technology works. That's always a good thing. All right, so here is our Padlet. This is for the literacy program specifically. And thank you, Bev. I actually had that link to copy and paste and put in, but Bev beat me to it. So there's the link there if you would like to copy and paste it as well. So you are looking at the creator view right now. The only difference between the creator view and the user view that's really noticeable is these little plus signs for adding content. And if it was open for collaboration, everybody would get this view. But you're looking at it from someone who could edit and add information's view to Padlet right now. If you had just clicked the link, because I don't have it set up that you can add post, you won't see those little plus signs, but essentially it'll look the same elsewise. Padlet has multiple ways that you can add formats to the site. This view is called Shelf. And so Shelf has little bookshelves where you can put a title like how to use this Padlet. These are our adult literacy things. So this is what our shelves consist of: citizenship, community services, comprehension reading materials. And then there's a little scroll bar down here. Because of the color scheme, it's a little hidden. So think about that when you do your Padlet. So we've got computer skills, disability resources, dyslexia information, kind of all that fun stuff that you might want to use when you're tutoring literacy. And I actually give a link to our tutors to this during tutor training. So the tutors have a copy of this and ask them to bookmark it. So then each area, let's say I want to look at financial literacy because I've got a learner that needs some financial literacy help. You can scroll down and see what all the resources are. Family literacy, there's a lot of resources here. So when we're talking about file types, the first link, the how to use this Padlet, this one actually is, it's so intuitive. There's one thing that's not, so I did create a watch me first, and actually the thing that's not intuitive is YouTube playlists. Funny enough, but YouTube will play natively in it. So I recorded a video, I posted it to YouTube, and you can, a tutor can click this and they can watch how to use the Padlet with my voice. And I don't want to hear my voice. I'm sorry that you all have to hear it during the presentation. But so someone could watch this to get a quick overview so people aren't tech savvy. We've had over 40 views of this from our tutors. So I do think that people like having this if you do it. Padlet, since I've created it, actually lets you record video within Padlet and screen grab. So you could actually record your own screen grab and thing right in Padlet as well if you wanted to do a how to use this Padlet. So it's so fast and easy to add content to. I add things like as I'm going through professional development resources, like the other day, last month, when we went to Kathy Harris's ESL things, both at CLA and through the wonderful network programming. She gave so many ESL or English language learner resources. And like she had this handbook, Teaching English Language Learners, a Handbook for Volunteers. Well, this is super great, but it's a 40-page PDF. So what am I going to do? Print it and put it in the Literacy Center? How do I get this out? Well, Padlet will actually host this PDF for me. So it will host up to 20 megabyte files. So if I click it and my internet's actually working, there it goes. Come on, internet. You now have within Padlet a 40-page PDF that someone could save to their computer, that somebody could print right from here, and the whole ebook is right here. Again, the video files will play natively in here. Sound files will play natively in here. Websites. So I just linked to a website. Let's see, where do we want? So free citizenship resources, USA Learns. If I click to it, it'll go straight to the website from the Padlet. So the only quirk, as I mentioned before, is YouTube. If you've got a YouTube playlist like here, we've got all those wonderful YouTubes that were created on how to tutor literacy and with all the example lessons done by some of the people on this call maybe, or a lot of our network colleagues. Those have playlists that you can bookmark, but when you do the YouTube, it will play them one at a time. So the trick to that is that if you're clicking on it, you actually have to view it in YouTube to get to sorry, my internet is slow today, to get to the playlist over here. So that is the one quirk, that if you are going to link to a YouTube playlist, somebody would have to open it in YouTube and not play it natively in here. If they play it natively in here, they would just have to like skip through all 20 videos to get to number 22 or something. I'm getting a question, am I willing to share the teaching basic literacy? So I'm going to share this entire Padlet with you. So you can take anything you want off of this. You can even take the whole Padlet. So what's up there is all available for you to download on here. And I'm sorry if I missed any other questions. Allison or Bev can interrupt me if there's ones that are urgent, or we can ask them at the end.
I think you're good.
Okay, great, thanks. All right, so that's what it looks like. Let's say I want to add a new shelf to Padlet. You just go over here and I can add a selection. I title it new selection and we're good. If I will think, oh no, I didn't want the new selection, I want it there, I can drag it to wherever I want it. Maybe, come on, Zoom takes up a lot of bandwidth, so trying to show Padlet while I'm on Zoom with our internet's not doing very well. Come on, go, there we go. So you can drag it to and from anywhere. All these posts can be dragged up and down just by dragging the corner. They also have these 3 little dots where it says I can add a new section left or a new section right, or I can add a new post before or after the previous post. So you can either drag things around, or you can, if it's getting big, it's sometimes easier to pick where you want it and then say add before or add after, just like if you do Excel and you move around columns or cells or something. Same functionality, super easy to do. So I'm going to delete that so we don't have it in there. And then I'll show you what it looks like to add a new post. So let's say we're going to add a new post here. There, we'll add it under Word Attack Phonics. So we'll call it whatever we want to call it, new post. And then it gives you these basic options here. You can drag and drop to here, or there's more options if you click the 3 dots. So if you do a hyperlink, it will automatically do a screen grab for you. Let's see, do I have a hyperlink in here? Oh yeah. Okay, so it will create a little whatever, and then that will link directly to it. Sometimes you don't like what the link looks like. Like, I don't think that looks like my adult and family literacy online resources Padlet. That looks like one of the posts in there. So I might remove it and I might just post it down in here in the comments. If I do that, I can add a picture to it, either from my computer, or I can search the web for a picture of something I want. Let's say what really speaks to me of Padlet is like cats in a library. Oh, perfect. Someone is definitely going to want to click on this post right here. Adorable. So now the new post has a nice little image that goes with it. And again, I can upload my own image and do that. And let's say I publish it. Boop, 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 boop. And where did I say I added that? I've lost my post. Where'd it go? Must have had, where did my post go? Well, that's never happened before. Anyway, the post is somewhere on this Padlet that I can't see right now. If someone sees it while they're playing around on their own, let me know. I don't think I hit cancel. Anyway, it always works. Word Attack Phonics, is that where I put it? Oh my gosh, of course, of course. Aha, good job. So that's why it's sometimes good to do posting before or after and not at the top of a column, so you can always find it, especially when you're presenting in front of a room full of people and you don't embarrass yourself. But there we go. So this one, because it's an image, when you click on it, it'll show the image, but then your hyperlink will be right here. And then let's say I decided, oh, you know what? I really should have done a better job explaining this. I just click here again. I'm going to click edit post, and then I'm going to say this post has nothing to do with cats. Perfect. So you can put a description. So descriptions are useful because let's say you're trying to find a lot of things on here. One of the ways I could have found my new post was doing like a search within a website function. So you can either like kind of do it the long way, or I do a Control F and I could have done new post and it would have pulled up the new post for me. So if I'd been thinking straight instead of getting an adrenaline kick because I lost my post, I would have just done that and found it. So the more descriptive terms you write, the way easier it is to find a post hidden somewhere on your page. So that's it. Oh, let's see if there's any new fun features that I should show you here. I'll do that real quick. So as I said, there's a screen recorder. So if you want to show yourself using something on the screen, you can record it that way. You can record a video of yourself. You don't have to record it in YouTube, so it'll host the video for you. You can link directly to some things like YouTube. And there's even that fun I can't draw picture. I won't show the example because it takes like a minute to generate. But if I wanted to write purple slug on top of a library book, I could get an AI generated image of a purple slug on top of a library book. So if you're looking for a good image that goes with your thing, you can't find one, you can create AI images right in here to do it. And you can link to another Padlet. So on here, I have a link to both our libraries. I'm going to give a plug because Andrea put this together, community resources Padlet. So this is like if anybody at your library or you are in charge of a community resources binder, like we keep track of where the nearest shelters are, where someone can get a shower, what happens if you need to get food access, you know, the kind of questions or just common questions that you would get at the information desks. We actually created a Padlet for that, so staff can have it at the computer and resource through. They can pull up a PDF and print a flyer for someone right from there. So our community resource Padlet is here. And then I also have the Adult Education Center's Padlet. For this one, I took a screen grab of the Padlet and then put it there because I didn't like the little info book that goes. So sometimes you can also do just like a screen grab and use that as your image. So customizing a Padlet over here, we'll go look and see what we've got. So the shares, there's tons of different ways, but mostly it's the privacy settings here. This is the button I wanted to show you for remaking. So let's say you like this, but you don't want one specifically for the Santa Monica Public Library. You can click the remake button, and I've allowed it so anybody can remake the Padlet. So you can copy the design. You might not want to copy the design because it has the Santa Monica Public Library as a background, but you can copy the posts. So you, if you sign up for a Padlet account, can then go to My Padlet, hit copy posts, and you will get an exact copy of this Padlet to manipulate and use however you want and add your own resources and take away and whatever you want to do with it. So if you like this, take it, use it, it's yours. And then over here, we've got some settings. So you can see, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Whatever you name your Padlet is going to be in your URL. So I named my account literacy program. I did my wallpaper, which is the library, but it has nice colors. It's not like the most beautiful thing in the world, but it's also not too bad. So you can customize it if you want to make it your library colors or something else that matches whatever your mood is. Here, you can choose how you want the post to be organized. So you want them manually, which I have. Maybe you want them recorded alphabetically. I put it as things that would be most interesting to a wide general audience, and then they get more specific as they go down. So I kind of went from most useful to the most people down to more specific as you scroll through, but it's kind of up to you. Maybe you like things alphabetically. Maybe you like it newest first. It'll give you all those options to let you order things that way. I've allowed for comments. Nobody has thought to comment yet, but you could definitely comment and say like, I like this, or this doesn't work, or hey, I really found this cool thing on the site. And then you can do reactions. So I just let people upvote or downvote it. I haven't told people that I put this in and nobody's upvoted or downvoted, but feel free to start hitting some thumbs up or thumbs down if you want to populate it with things you like. So you can choose if people want to vote. Maybe they just like the post. Maybe they want to give the post 1 to 5 stars and rate them. And you can grade it if you wanted to do that. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but that would be an option if you want people to interact. And again, you can turn that on or off. You can let other people add posts, you cannot. And then if you do, you can choose whether you want to require approval, if you want to filter profanity, or if you want people to be able to remake it and kind of lock it down or not. And this is where I create the URL. So I called it SMPL Leaf because we're the Leaf program. So padlet.com/literacy program /SMPL Leaf. So that becomes our website address. Cheryl's question is, how do tutors and learners find it? I give them the link in the training, and sometimes I just use it for me. So if someone's asking me for a resource for teaching grammar to English language learners, I might pull up a couple of the resources there and send them directly, or I might send them to the Padlet and say, hey, look underneath this category. This is how you get to it all. So I do have tutors who write, like about once a month, I get that email. Hey, remind me what that website is with all the resources. I can't remember what it is and I have to resend it out. So it's in the training materials for the tutors, but obviously like I tell them to all the bookmark it, and some people go back and use it. Some people forget about it, and it's just what it is. At least I like having it for me, because when someone asks me a question, I always know where to go and find my materials. So that is Padlet. Were there any more questions specifically about that? Otherwise, I'm going to show you kind of like general what Padlet looks like real quick, and just a couple other operating tips. Anything else? Okay. So let me go back to my PowerPoint presentation here. All right. Back at PowerPoint. And then I'm going to just get away from it. So I don't know why I did that. I should have just stayed out of it. So this is different ways that you could start a new Padlet. And I just wanted to give a couple ideas, because you guys do other things, right? Some people run book groups. Some people run conversation classes. Some people run different programs. So there's other things other than organizing resources you can do with Padlet. And I just want you to kind of see what it does, just in case it triggers something in your brain. So it has a map feature. It has, you can do a grid organization. You can organize things in a timeline. So when you created a new Padlet, you would pick which format you'd want to do. And if you want to do something like what you saw up there, it's the shelf. So you're going to pick the shelf feature. So if we go over here to padlet.com gallery, Padlet has a gallery where it shows you just some sample Padlets, and it's really good for creativity. So like down here at the bottom, they have a Great Gatsby discussion question. So if you run a book group, you can post discussion questions and then people can comment on them. And this is a way to facilitate an online discussion and collaboration, and with images and everything else. I thought this one was kind of fun. They read a book, and then people picked songs off of Spotify and quotes from the book that they thought matched the song. So it was a way to think about it and tie in music into it. If you want to see like what one of the mapping one looks like, there's a San Francisco burrito map, where you can like say there's things in your community and people want to contribute, or they want to write I don't know, a discussion about their home area. You can pull up a map, add pins to it, and then you can navigate it either this way or this way, and it'll pop things up. So it's just got a lot of versatility in a very, very easy to use package. I could definitely see people using it for writing. So authors use it to track their categories. So maybe character descriptions are under one, or I could see it being used for like a KWLN chart. So what I know before reading, what I want to know about a topic, what I learned, and create it in the columns. So for online education, it's definitely useful for a collaboration, especially where everybody could access and add information in. Andrea put together these tips. And so I thought I would just show you some of the tips. One, make sure it's current. That's one of the downside to having resources, is right, links break and everything else. So you do have to make sure that things are current, the facts are up to date. Whenever possible, if you have a PDF that can then be printed or used off, that's very useful. And then it can be downloaded. And then obviously figuring out how your audience would organize it. What's the most logical way for your audience to access the materials? So I'm going to open it up to questions. And I saw Sarah had a question about what are the common questions or user issues patrons, tutors, learners bring up when using Padlet. It's intuitive. Nobody has had a problem at all using Padlet. Like if you can click and pull something up, that's fine. The only thing I have is those YouTube playlists. It takes a second to figure out how to get to those playlists for the literacy. But other than that, I mean, you can click around. It's pretty darn intuitive and simple. Maybe finding things. So we have Pam asked, which subscription does our program purchase? We have one email address, the literacy program email address that Andrea and I log into, and we have created our Padlets in that and created the 3 Padlets. You get the 3 Padlets per email address, or as I said, my new one got 6 for some reason. We have not paid. And it seems to hold plenty of space. It holds up to 20 megabytes per file. So, but I would be happy to pay for it. Like, I think it's really great. If we needed to pay for it, we have not needed to pay for it. Yeah. Let's see. Any other questions, Bev Allison, you see there? Oh, is limit to shelves and Padlet? So she asked. I have not seen a limit to shelves. I think you can keep going as long as you want to go. It might start getting kind of unwieldy after a certain point, but no, it doesn't seem to have a limit other than the size limit that you just can't get too big with uploading files.